possession. Gomez, Alba, Lionel Messi! Lionel Messi in the final second. Bernabeu cannot believe.
In this tutorial, I'm painting a 3D printed Messi step by step. I start by applying at least 2 coats of the base skin tone, so the surface looks smooth, even, and ready for the next layers. At this stage, I want to give the face some early depths and warmth, so I spray this wash more from below and only very lightly from above with a airbrush. Using a small piece of a sponge, I add texture to the surface. This helps the skin feel less flat and much more natural. Because this wash is very thin, it can collect in tighter areas, especially behind the ears. So first, I remove any excess paint with a brush. Then carefully work the wash until everything looks clean, balanced, and even. This next wash pushes the skin slightly toward red, which adds a healthier and more lifelike feeling. I repeat the same process across the rest of the skin. After that, I apply a sienna and alizarin wash over all the skin areas. This layer adds richness and gives the skin more character. I begin by brushing the wash over the surface. Then I use a sponge to gently dab the face, blending the wash while also building a soft skin texture at the same time. I push the wash a little more under the nose and around the ears, since these areas naturally carry more warmth and blood flow. The same process is repeated on the fingers as well. Around the nails, I use Van Dyke and sienna mix to give them more definition. Next, I mix the skin tone with ochre to create a lighter flesh color for the highlights. First, apply white with a brush, then use a sponge so only tiny speckles remain. This helps break up the surface and keep the skin. Once that layer is dry, I start lightening the raised areas. Using the sponge again, I build up a dotted texture and brighten the higher points. Before applying it, I tap the sponge on the table to remove some of the paint. After the sienna layer, the skin can look a little dull, so I bring back some warmth with another ochre wash. This kind of layer approach is what makes the skin feel more believable and alive. Now I add a wash into the wrinkles around the eyes to bring out the expression. For the pupils, I switch to a very fine brush and a slightly thicker paint for better control. Then I lighten the eye color, painting the highlights, and softly blend them. The paint here should be a little more diluted. White is used for the catch lights and the whites of the eye. To sharpen the eye and give them more depth, I outline them with Windex. The lips are darker near the center, so I keep the stronger tone there and gently blend it outward. To finish them off, I apply a red oxide wash, which gives them a subtle natural warmth. Now I move on to the hair with a base color. Then I lighten it slightly and began painting in the individual strands. The beard is a bit lighter than the hair, so I paint those strands with a thinner mix and a fine brush. Once the highlights are in place, I use diluted Van Dyke wash to deepen the shadows between the strands. I darken the middle and lower parts of the beard with an oxide black wash for more contrast. For the eyebrows, I begin with the lighter hair using the same second hair color. The paint is slightly diluted here, and I use a fine brush to keep the strokes delicate. After that, I add the darker hairs using a deeper version of the base hair tone. The airbrush gave me a little trouble here and really needed a clean, but since this was just the base layer, I kept going and built it up with multiple coats. To protect the hands while painting the sleeves, I masked them with the masking fluid. Now I spray the first highlight color from above to establish the main lightning. I carry these highlights across the most of the clothing, always keeping the light direction consistent. Then I apply a second lighter highlight from above on the shirt and shorts, but this time I keep it more selective. Next, I use masking tape to block out the red stripes. Then I start laying in the red. And after that, I lighten the red tone and spray it again from above for more variation. Now it's time for the base color of the grass. Then I add a lighter green by spraying it from the side like this. I can create more variation and make the grass feel less uniform. Before painting the yellow details of the uniform, I apply 2 coats of white to prepare the surface. At this point, there are no major tricks left. Just patient and fine brush and careful attention to the final details. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe. See you in next one. Bye!